future developments in colorectal cancer, I think currently and moving forward, we're really trying to think not only of colon cancer as a very common cancer, which we know it already is, but how can we really characterize it further? And so I think we're finding more basically smaller molecular subsets. So as I mentioned earlier, HER2 amplification is of great interest, and there's actually a clinical trial called SWOG 1613. And once again, HER2 amplification is extremely rare, less than 5% of patients. But SWOG 1613 is a randomized phase 2 study taking into account patients that have HER2 amplification and trying to determine if that is actually better than a standard of care, which for a second or third line setting would often include anti-EGFR therapy. So that would be a very good trial to participate in, and it also allows crossover from the standard of care arm into the investigational arm if you end up randomized to the control arm. Other interests, such as the BRAF mutation, as you know, that was received quite a lot of interest over the past couple years, largely due to SWOG 1406, which demonstrated that there is benefit targeting not only the BRAF mutation, but incorporating anti-EGFR therapy as well. There's other trials, specifically the Beacon study from Array, which is an ongoing phase 3 trial. I believe the enrollment has nearly been completed, but we don't know the final results. We do know of the first 30 patients that went on to the study. There was significant response, and as a result, that resulted in a rapid FDA approval in August of this past year. So that's of great interest, and I think we're going to find more molecular subsets that we can work with our patients in trying to really target their tumor type. Our biggest nemesis still, though, is the standard RAS mutated MSI stable patient population. And as a result, we continue to find clinical trials that we can enroll our patients to, because at the end of the day, as long as the patient's on some type of therapy, as long as their laboratory tests are reasonable, as long as they're feeling well, we will continue to treat them regardless in order to improve their overall survival. And I mean, I think that's why you're seeing patients that are the median survival is now expanding past 3 years. I mean, I have patients that have been under my care with metastatic disease, with incorporating radiation and potentially liver resection periodic or lung resection periodically. I have some patients that are out 9 or 10 years with metastatic disease. And so it's very positive. I even have patients that have had a history of brain metastasis and still are alive 5 to 10 years later on. So I think that we just really need to continue to work with these individuals, make sure that we're addressing any toxicities that may be having, so then we can address them early on so they can move on to the next line of therapy and feel well if necessary. And then the other thing I think that is extremely exciting, granted is very, very rare, is the NTRK fusion. Just because there are drugs to target that, and that's recently been FDA approved. And we just really need to encourage individuals to test their patients for all these various molecular markers and really try to help us characterize the tumors. So I think that's really what's exciting at this time, and I think that's how the field is moving forward. I would like to add that March is Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month, and we really want to encourage individuals to remember to get screened now starting at the age of 45, and if you have any potential symptoms, go talk to your primary care physician. Don't presume it's a hemorrhoid. I hear that so often. Really speak to your primary care physician if you're not feeling well, and really investigate whether or not you have potential colorectal carcinoma, because as I mentioned earlier, young individuals are now presenting with this disease much earlier on, and a lot of the times they don't have a primary care physician. They felt healthy their whole life, or they presumed it was due to a hemorrhoid. So we do encourage patients to get screened, really investigate your symptoms, and really make sure that you encourage your family members to do so as well.